Have you ever felt like you are capable of doing something big, something meaningful, but still you hold yourself back? Not because of lack of opportunity, not because of lack of resources, but because of something inside your own mind. A quiet voice that appears at the worst possible moment and says, "What if you fail? What if you're not good enough? What if people judge you?" That voice is self-doubt. And for many people, it becomes the biggest obstacle between where they are and where they want to be. The dangerous thing about self-doubt is that it does not feel like an enemy. It feels like logic. It feels like reality. It feels like you are being practical and protecting yourself from failure. But in most cases, self-doubt is not truth. It is fear disguised as logic. To eliminate self-doubt, you first need to understand where it actually comes from. Self-doubt is not something you are born with. It is something you learn over time. It is built from past experiences, from failures, from criticism, and from comparison. Think about it. When you were younger, you probably did not overthink every action. You tried things without worrying too much about the outcome. But as you grew older, you started becoming more aware of how people react, how society judges, and what failure feels like. Every negative experience left a small mark on your mind. Over time, these marks turned into patterns. Your brain is designed to protect you. It wants to keep you safe from pain, embarrassment, and rejection. So whenever you are about to do something unfamiliar or risky, it sends a warning signal. That warning signal is what you feel as self-doubt. But here is the problem. Your brain cannot always tell the difference between real danger and imagined fear. Speaking in front of people, starting something new, or taking a risk is not life-threatening, but your brain still treats it as a threat. This is why self-doubt feels so strong. It is not just a thought, it is a biological reaction. Another reason self-doubt becomes powerful is because of the brain's negativity bias. Your mind naturally focuses more on what went wrong than what went right. One failure can feel heavier than 10 successes. One negative comment can stay in your head longer than 10 positive ones. Because of this, your brain builds a story that you are not ready, not capable, or not good enough. And the more you repeat this story, the more real it feels. Self-doubt also grows when your confidence depends on external validation. When you rely on others to tell you that you are good, your confidence becomes unstable. The moment someone doubts you, you start doubting yourself. This is why some people feel confident one day and completely lost the next. Their confidence is not coming from within, it is coming from outside. Now the question is, how do you break this pattern? The first step is awareness. You need to understand that not every thought you have is true. Your mind produces thousands of thoughts every day, but many of them are automatic and based on past conditioning. When self-doubt appears, instead of believing it immediately, observe it. Separate yourself from the thought. Instead of saying, "I am not good enough," recognize it as "I am having the thought that I am not good enough." This small shift creates distance between you and your doubt. The second step is taking action despite doubt. This is where most people fail. They wait to feel confident before they act. But confidence does not come before action. It comes after action. Every time you act despite fear, you send a signal to your brain that the situation is safe. Over time, this reduces the intensity of doubt. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will resist, but discomfort is a sign of growth. If you always stay in your comfort zone, self-doubt will never decrease. Another powerful strategy is evidence building. Your brain believes in proof. Right now, your mind may have more evidence of your failures than your successes. That is why doubt feels real. To change this, you need to start collecting small wins. Complete small tasks. Keep promises to yourself. Track your progress. Each small success becomes evidence that you are capable. Over time, this evidence starts replacing your negative beliefs. Your internal dialogue also plays a huge role. The way you talk to yourself shapes your mindset. If your inner voice is constantly negative, your confidence will always be low. Instead of trying to force positive thinking, focus on realistic thinking. Replace extreme negative thoughts with balanced ones. For example, Instead of saying I will fail, say I might struggle, but I can improve. This makes your thinking more flexible and less fearful. Another important step is removing comparison. When you compare yourself to others, you ignore your own journey. You only see their results, not their struggles. Comparison creates pressure and makes you feel behind, even when you are making progress. Focus on your own path. Measure your growth based on where you were yesterday, not where someone else is today. Environment also influences self-doubt more than you realize. If you are surrounded by negativity, criticism, or constant distraction, your mind becomes weaker. But when you expose yourself to positive, growth-oriented content and people, your thinking changes. Consistency is what transforms everything. You cannot eliminate self-doubt in one day. It is built over years, so it takes time to reduce. But every time you take action, every time you challenge your fear, every time you choose growth over comfort, you weaken self-doubt. And slowly, something changes. The voice that once stopped you becomes quieter. The fear that once controlled you becomes manageable. And the things that once felt impossible start feeling normal.